Thank you for checking out Lakehead International's videos. You're about to watch one of our Lakehead International live webinars, a fun and informative way to learn more about Lakehead while also meeting faculty, staff, and current students. If you have any questions throughout today's video, please comment below. Otherwise, let's get started. And with that, I want to officially welcome you to Lakehead University and set the stage so that you as the audience know a bit more about our proud institution here in Canada. We are proud to have two campuses located in the province of Ontario. One of our campuses is located in Orillia, and our second campus is located in Thunder Bay. We also have a partnership program with Georgian College located in Barrie, Ontario. You'll learn more about that in one of our electrical engineering programs. But before we dive into our programs and our faculty session here, I'll share more information about some of the things we're extremely proud of as a smaller institution in Canada. That does not mean that we don't pack a punch in terms of how we rank against our fellow institutions here across the nation as well as around the world. So to kick things off, I'll share more about research. So research is at the heart of Lakehead University's everyday operations. We're recognized as the #1 in Canada for not-for-profit research income. And that speaks to, of course, working with not-for-profit organizations and helping them conduct critical research for their own initiatives. Of course, we also do research on a broad-based approach to other corporations and other initiatives. In terms of other rankings that we're proud of, if you're familiar with Times Higher Education, they do an annual global impact rankings that are related to the sustainable development goals here. And we actually are placed as the #1 university in North America under 9,000 students. So that's something we're extremely proud of each year. Across Canada, we also have something called the Maclean's Magazine rankings. And we've consistently ranked in Canada's top 10 universities in our category for the past several years. So again, something we're quite proud of. In terms of things Lakehead uniquely offers, we're very proud to have a significant undergrad entrance scholarship for international students. That's at the undergrad level. Last year alone, we gave out over $7.8 million Canadian to students that were joining us or returning students. Some of our scholarships are even renewable, so you're more than welcome to learn more about those. And of course, we also are extremely excited about our small classroom environments that we think really enhance the student learning experience. So on our Thunder Bay campus, we have a student to professor ratio of 15:1, and on our Orillia campus, it is 13:1. What all of that boils down to is greater success in our grads in terms of employment. So within 2 years of graduation, 96.3% of our grads are actually employed. So after walking across that stage, they're more likely to get jobs than other Ontario universities. So we're above the Ontario average, which is actually 94.3%. Shifting gears here, but diving a bit deeper into Lakehead University, it's chatting about academics and the offerings that we have. So to kick things off, our areas of study include business administration, engineering, science and environmental studies, natural resources management, education, social sciences and humanities, health and behavioral sciences, law, and graduate studies. But of course, today we're here and joined by our Faculty of Engineering team. And with that, I have the distinct pleasure in welcoming our guests, and I'll kick it off by passing over to Dr. Rakshit.
Hello, my name is Sudeep Rakshit, and oh my God, and I'm a professor of chemical engineering and a Canada Research Chair in bioenergy and biorefining processes. My specialization is in biochemical processes, and I welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. Next, I'll pass over to Dr. Salem.
Yeah, hello everyone. Nice to meet everyone. And my name is Sam Salem. I'm professor in civil engineering and very happy to talk to you today.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for both of you for joining us. Of course, we'll be chatting a bit more as we dive into today's presentation, but I'll kick things off by sharing a bit more about the Lakehead advantage. So when you're choosing an institution to study at, of course, there's a lot of factors of consideration and weighing those options that you have. So the advantages to choosing studies at Lakehead, especially for our undergrad viewers, and we'll chat more about grad as well, but for those students pursuing an undergrad, one of my favorite things is that there's a lot of different learning experiences. So whether that's going to be a lecture-based learning experience, a lab-based learning experience, perhaps completing a portfolio or a research project, As I noted, we are a research-intensive university, and we also build research into our undergraduate programs. So at larger institutions, you may hear research is focused around their master's and even doctoral students, and access to the facilities that help you conduct that same research are limited in terms of availability. But we've always recognized the importance of having our undergrad students be involved in that as well. And so it's something you can look forward to as a future student here at Lakehead. We also have both college and university education combined with an MBA. So I'll dive into that further, but essentially diving into the bottom point there is when you pursue one of our Bachelor's of Engineering degrees here at Lakehead University, you'll also earn an Engineering Technology Diploma. So that's a college level diploma. We issue that after your second year of studies. And then to come back to that original point, we also now offer a combination with our Bachelor's of Engineering degree and a Master's of Business Administration. That's a combination of your fourth and fifth year, having a blend of engineering and business courses. I'll chat a bit further about that in a moment, though. As I noted, we also are extremely excited about our small classroom environments, which enhance learning and your ability to connect with your peers and build that support network, but more importantly, connecting with your professors and getting answers to your questions in a timely manner. As I also mentioned, we have a portfolio of projects that you'll be able to perhaps participate in one day yourself, whether that's built into a course formally or perhaps an external or extracurricular activity that you work with on a supervisor or a faculty member in your department. And then there's also, of course, flexibility with your program. So you'll have the opportunity, perhaps you start in one Lakehead engineering program and you realize it's not quite for you. There will be opportunities for you to shift gears and perhaps pursue a different major, or even within the program, if you're loving your major, but you also have some niche elective passions, you can add in electives from a variety number of our faculties outside of engineering. Key considerations that you should take into factor are, of course, that you'll be able to work on real world issues with real world companies. So our case studies, our course material is all relevant to today's world in engineering terms. You'll also have the ability to earn as you learn, and that's through our cooperative education experience, which I'll dive into a bit further. And something that our Faculty of Engineering has sort of represented and always embraced from day one is they're a family-like environment. Being a smaller institution, ideally your professor will know your first name and know a bit about you. And so whether that's maybe you're struggling in your classes perhaps, or you're just needing a little extra support to be successful, that family-like environment will empower you to feel more comfortable and confident in approaching the proper supports and services available to you. At the core of engineering also is, of course, the employability of our students. We want to make sure that when you graduate with a Lakehead University degree, you will be able to enter the career field and grasp that job right away. So finding your path into Lakehead's engineering is an important part of your decision of where you may enter here at our institution. So looking to the top left, we actually have a pre-engineering program, which is available to high school diploma graduates that do not have the admission requirements. So you would actually enter via our 12-month pre-engineering program to make up for any of those deficiencies in terms of maybe it's prerequisite courses, grades, grade point averages, that sort of stuff that will help you prepare and be successful in year one of the program. Of course, we also offer direct entry into year one for high school graduates that do have the admission requirements. Once again, that's joining your engineering discipline in year one. So you're not going to do necessarily foundational courses, although there are foundational courses across the board of engineering at the undergrad level. You will actually be joining your discipline from the first year, which allows you to start to specialize and really hone in on what you're passionate about. You'll then from there, whether you've entered through pre-eng or direct entry into year one, proceed into your second year. Upon completion of your second year, and as I noted before, you'll receive that diploma, which is really incredible because you'll then also be able to go after jobs, whether that's full-time employment in your summer months or perhaps part-time employment during the academic school year, and you'll have a diploma to back up that employment and negotiate, of course, more pay for yourself, but also be qualified for jobs that are reserved for college graduates that have to pursue diplomas that are 3 and 4 years in length. At that point, year three is where most of our students will move into. Of course, a vast majority of our undergrads don't stop at diploma. They'll continue on into years three. And that's where we also would introduce our third entry point, and that's for college transfer students. So they've perhaps attended or they're graduated already from a college diploma program. And they would then enter into what we call our summer program. So that typically is running in the summer months leading up into a fall start term. And then you would actually enter directly into the year three after making up any deficiencies in terms of prerequisite courses or areas that we know you'll need a refresher on before being successful in the third year. Within your third year, that's where we introduce the idea of co-op. So co-op is that paid and formally built-in work experience for our students. You have the option of doing it between 4 to 16 months in between years 3 and 4, and there's diverse options there. So I don't want to speak too broadly about it, but you can certainly look forward to learning more when you actually join your first year of engineering, start asking questions about co-op and get prepared and be excited for it. Going into fourth year, for those students that are perhaps pursuing the MBA option, that's where you'll have the additional 9 months optional, and you'll start to have a blend of courses. So in your fourth and final year, if you are pursuing the MBA option, you would have a mix of that engineering courses and MBA courses over the final 2 years. And for those students that are just going to do the Bachelor of Engineering, which is still an incredible option, of course, upon graduation, to refresh your memory, you'll graduate with a university degree as well as a college diploma, all issued by our institution, however. So that's a bit about the options in terms of entry pathways into our undergrad programming. I also want to chat a bit about the accreditation that we have. I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Rakshit to share more about why accreditation, a part of our faculty engineering, is an important consideration for you.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say that we in the engineering faculty pay a lot of emphasis on the accreditation process because it's vital for us to hold on and get that accreditation. The reasons any engineering department faculty do that is for number one reason for that is for quality assurance. So an accreditation makes sure that any university is for having the quality required, and it's just not one more university which is teaching the particular form of engineering. There are a number of other reasons for the accreditation process, which is required in North America in most universities which teach engineering, is because, like I said, quality assurance, and also increasingly on continuous improvement. The accreditation process, the centers which do this type of accreditation always bring up new ideas about how to improve the process. And the other reasons for accreditation include like professional registration. Like all of us in our engineering department, like I said, we make sure that all our faculty are professional engineers. So that's another reason you get that professional registration. There is international recognition of this when we are actually encouraged by the professional engineers to advertise that we are professional engineers. Of course, employability, financial support, and for many students, it's also a basis for transfer of credits. So in case you do have, you want to move from one institution to another, and that transfer is made easier when both institutions are accredited and know what is being taught by these universities. So like I said, we are we emphasize and try to do our best to get this accreditation, and we have been very successful in the last few years in getting it done.
Awesome, thank you. And I also think it speaks to, of course, ensuring that Canada's engineering education systems remains some of the best in the world with that accreditation. Speaking of that and diving into actually our undergrad programs, all of our undergrad programs on the screen here, excluding mechatronics, are actually accredited for the full length or the full term. In some cases, other institutions will get short-term accreditation renewals, and that's because perhaps they need a little more quality assurance and checks and balance to make sure, but we actually have received all of ours at the full length. With that being said, mechatronics is not accredited simply because what they require is that we need a full cohort to graduate. And for those of you who don't know, mechatronics is a brand new program here at Lakehead University that we kicked off just this past September. So with that being said, as soon as we have a graduation, a cohort in 4 years from now, we'll be making that same application, and we're confident. We worked with the accreditation board to build the program from the ground up, and so we're confident that we will receive that as well. Chatting more about the programs that we do offer, as I noted, we have several different disciplines. So you can see our disciplines offered at the undergrad level on both the left and right-hand side. On the left-hand side are our Bachelors of Engineering with an Engineering Technology Diploma. They're all eligible for cooperative internships. Every program excluding mechatronics is also available for an MBA opportunity. I won't list that for you though. And then on the right-hand side is, as I mentioned, our unique partnership with Georgian College. So this is called the Lakehead Georgian program. It's offered on our Barrie campus. And it's where Lakehead University offers the Bachelor's of Engineering portion, and Georgian College offers the Engineering Technology Diploma. And it's only offered in electrical engineering. There are co-op internships available for students. And you would graduate similarly with the 2 credentials after 4 years of study. I'll take this opportunity, I'll kick it off with Sudeep to share more about chemical engineering. And then Sam will follow up with more information about civil.
Thank you again. I just like to say that apart from accreditation, which I already mentioned, one of the things we are in our department certainly like to emphasize is the quality of our teaching. So we definitely are very proud of the output from our class, our department, and they're doing very, very well. And just as a enticing you to apply for such a program is, I'd like to say that chemical engineering has a broad spectrum of job opportunities. Anything we use today has some chemical engineering involved in it. And I like to say that in my class, from the toothpaste you use in the morning, to the automobile you drive to your class, to petroleum technology, to aerospace, to pharmaceutical, and even in the coming days, we are already getting into areas like COVID vaccine scale-up processes, etc. So the scenario of jobs are moving very rapidly to these new areas like vaccine production, renewable energy, etc., and adding to the already classic ones like petroleum, cement, food, etc. So for me, it's a good case for job opportunities if you have the keenness to do that type of work. And remember, it is not chemistry. Something else which people highlight, that's the last word on that. It is not, it's chemistry. You do need some chemistry, but you need more of an engineering mindset to scale up these processes which are useful for society. So I leave it at that for the moment.
Awesome. I appreciate you sharing more. Of course, employment is a significant consideration for all of our students. So I'm happy to share more about the diversity in roles. And I'm sure even as these students enter perhaps in the next year or two into our engineering program, upon graduation in 5-6 years from now, the job prospects are going to look a bit different than they do today. But with that, I'll pass it over to Sam.
Yes, a little bit information about our academic department in civil engineering, the courses that the students take, and future opportunity for jobs. Civil engineering is all about planning, designing, and realizing big things to be happen in your life as a student or as a future engineer. We are as a medium size, I would say, academic department. We have faculty member with diversity of expertise. So we have different areas that basically reflected in our courses, mainly undergrad courses based on our accreditation, as well as the grad courses, same thing. We have areas in civil engineering that's really various, such as structural engineering, geotechnical engineering, water resources, hydraulics, environmental engineering, transportation engineering. So we are a medium-sized department, but we have faculty member with diverse expertise. This give a very quality teaching as well as enhance the experience of our students, undergrad students mainly, for job opportunities in the future. So when you get courses in those different areas, you will be more kind of familiar and qualified for job opportunities in different sectors. So civil engineering is really broad in the area of engineering. We do also have opportunities for our undergrad students once they finish their bachelor degree. I have witnessed so many cases that our students pursue their postgraduate studies into masters. This will qualify them even more for higher quality jobs and higher paying salary, basically, as well as PhD for many students also continue to enroll in our PhD program, which is recently launched 2 years ago. That's just brief introduction about civil engineering in general, what courses they may experience, and the different areas of civil engineering in general.
Thank you for sharing more about that. And for our viewers, if you want to learn more about electrical, mechanical, mechatronics, and software at that in-depth level, I encourage you to visit our website. To that end, though, Sam, I'm happy you actually introduced sort of the pathway to grad programs, because that's what I have to chat about next in terms of oftentimes we'll see our undergrads wrap up their bachelor's degree, and then immediately perhaps they've built strong connections or relationships with faculty members, and they realize that research is something that they're very passionate about, or higher education beyond bachelor's is something they would wish to pursue. And so they stick with us and they stay on in our master's programs. With that being said, they're also then even perhaps eligible, and if they're interested, of course, then move into a Doctor of Philosophy and Engineering. I won't list the programs on here, but once again, if you are interested, you can explore more on our website. I should also mention, of course, to our viewers that are already perhaps in their bachelor's degree back home in their country or another country around the world, or even done their bachelor's degree in their home country or around the world. We do also accept direct entry into our master's programs from external institutions. It's not that you need to complete your bachelor's at Lakehead to move into a master's program. We have diverse students from around the world joining these master's and doctoral programs. So it's very exciting. They bring a unique point of view and also a diverse interdisciplinary approach to their studies. Chatting a bit about cooperative experiences, this is where we actually have formalized work terms in your program. So as I noted before, they're offered in 4 to 16-month intervals. On average, students are earning between $25 to $30 Canadian. And we're already partnered with over 140 national and international partners. On the screen here, you'll see some of those companies that we've already sent students to. So whether that's technology companies like IBM, Bosch, Bell, financial institutions such as HSBC or RBC, resources companies such as Suncor, Newmont Goldcorp, manufacturing firms, Bombardier, Siemens, Honda. The list goes on in terms of where we've sent our students and where you may wish to go one day. But once again, this is a formalized work opportunity where you'll earn while you learn, essentially. You'll take an academic break from your studies and you'll join one of these companies that offer a co-op, and you can start applying that foundational knowledge you've picked up in your program thus far and apply it in a real world setting. So I think that's really great. I'll open the floor if either Sam or Sudeep have anything to share here. Otherwise, we'll chat a bit more about unique learning opportunities.
I can add. I serve as director of our master and PhD program for several years, and most recently as department chair of the civil engineering. And I can tell that I witness very successful stories of students who get into the co-op for the full term for it to get the designation in their transcript when they spend the 16-month co-op. And I have seen their success story in different large firms, engineering large firms. They got real experience during their summer co-op terms. It's very beneficial experience. Students like it very much and also gain experience when they, after that co-op terms, they come back for continue their terms to get their degree. They are more experienced in terms of hands-on application that they can see in real fields and real life jobs. It's very, very beneficial. And we have this opportunity offered to all students who are interested. So I really recommend and encourage who are really interested to do this to do so. It's very beneficial.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing more. Sudeep, it looks like you have something to add, so I'll pass it to you.
Yeah, actually, worldwide in engineering education, the students are encouraged to do an internship or a cooperative program because it gives them a first-hand look into what the connection between what we are teaching in the classroom and reality. Sometimes the students have that problem. They think that the stuff we teach in this class is different from what they'll be actually facing, but they realize that we prepare them for the principles, and that's what we feel get feedback from our students when they come back. We've had a number of students like in the petroleum industry, and in other industries, in nuclear industry, in renewable energy, who came back and told us these stories. So that's one big benefit. And second is that most often than not, a majority of the students actually go back and work for the company in which they did their cooperation. If they've done well, they're often offered employment into that same industry. So we have a officer in Lakehead University who helps you to get these type of interactions, but we also encourage students to get in touch with industry and get it themselves because it's going to be helpful in their future. I'd also like to add that, like I said, increasingly a lot of students also want to have a research experience in the second or third year during summer. We have a long summer break, and I have in the last year sent 2 of our students to Germany, where I collaborate with, and they had a wonderful experience there. So then you're not only learning engineering, you're learning engineering from a social aspect, and everything put together. I see real quantifiable changes in the student perspective. And this we encourage, not only at the undergraduate level, at the graduate level also. There are a lot of opportunities which students should take in the form of co-op or internships. And we definitely would be happy to help you in that process. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing more about the diverse experiences and encouraging students to partake in this opportunity. Other things and other experiences and opportunities I want to chat about, and as we phrase them, the unique learning opportunities. There's a variety of them. So this one is the Formula SAE race car. This is geared towards mechanical engineering students. So Lakehead's mechanical engineering program offers the combination of both applied technology experience along with advanced knowledge in engineering design, culminating in a senior degree project in diverse areas, such as this one, for example, the Formula SAE race cars. Human-powered vehicles is another example, remote-controlled drones, airplanes, and concussion testing equipment for sports applications such as hockey. So that senior degree project, again, is that research-focused opportunity that will allow you to apply those foundational principles that we just discussed about briefly, and really get a better understanding of how you use a variety of those principles in your own work. With that being said, another opportunity is our robotics lab. This is geared towards our electrical engineering students. This is, again, where we offer a combination of both the hands-on experience as well as strong theoretical foundation for complex engineering design. So specialized study awaits you in areas such as power systems, power electronics, embedded systems, fuzzy controllers, wireless communications, and fiber optics, to name a few. For our chemical engineering students, I'll let Dr. Rakshit share more about BRI, or the Biorefining Research Institute.
Yeah, we are really proud in our department for our research outputs. We have one of the strongest teams of research in the university, I could proudly say. Among the various initiatives we take, we have what we call as the Biorefining Research Institute. The Lakehead University is located in the midst of the largest forest area in the world called the Boreal Forest. And we used to be city which had a number of paper mills. We actually had 6 paper mills in and around Thunder Bay pre-2010. But in 2010, thanks to climate change and cost benefit, etc., the paper mills had to close. So the university decided to start the Biorefining Research Institute and use the large amount of biomass which we have in this area for other purposes. So the Biorefining Research Institute, in which me and many of my colleagues are associated, tries to use biomass for other purposes, like the name defines, refining. So it makes other types of chemicals instead of using fossil fuel. So the scope of the whole research there is in sustainable use of material. So like I have been saying many times, we do renewable energy from a point of view of sustainability aspects of it. That like all engineering, including chemical engineering, are moving in that direction in the sense that we are trying to be much more climate friendly. And so this is a good example of such an institute where we are trying to use renewable material to replace refining material. Thank you.
Sure. And something I'll mention, I'm sure it's obvious to the audience, this is a challenge that we welcome as faculty members, as professors, as students, but it's also an opportunity for us to help transition our global society to a bio-based economy in the future. So it's very exciting to be a part of this, although I'm of course not. I love my role here in international and my focus is on business, but hearing these stories and hearing how our students get to engage in these opportunities is very exciting. Another opportunity is related to our civil engineering students, and this is something where Dr. Salem can share more about the LU Fire Testing and Research Laboratory.
Yes, thanks, Jordan. Yeah, so this Lakehead University Fire Testing and Research Laboratory that I founded and constructed in starting 2013, became operational in 2016, is a very unique facility in the world and the only one of its kind for structural engineering fire testing in a Canadian university. So the main apparatus I have in this lab is basically a huge chamber that we can test real size building components such as beams, columns, floor assembly, wall assembly, to basically investigate and examine how long those structural building can sustain applied loads, as you can see in real buildings, in case of a fire happening in a building. So that's huge chamber of testing is a very unique apparatus that can have high temperature up to more than 1,000 degrees C. So it's really a very sophisticated testing procedure and a very good opportunity for research, in particular for grad students such as master and PhD students, but also talking about undergrads. So I have the opportunity to get some of our very good and enthusiastic students from the undergrad program in their third year during the summer to get them a research internship with funds throughout the summer. So they kind of do a research job, also focus on more related things to what they study in their undergrad programs. So that's a very unique facility, and we are very proud to have this enhance the teaching experience and research opportunities for both undergrad and grad students at the same time.
For sure. And of course, it allows you to conduct critical research related to ensuring contractors and builders alike are up to snuff in terms of the compliance with both local, provincial, and even national and international building codes that are at great demand right now. So thank you again for sharing more about that. With that being said, one other unique learning opportunity before we shift gears is the engineering makerspace, unofficially called Wolf Labs by our students. Actually opened just a few years ago and was first invent, build, play space for engineering students at Lakehead University. The makerspace itself features equipment that students are allowed to essentially bring their idea to reality by building prototypes for their inventions, including 3D printers, laser cutters, 3D scanners, as well as hand tools, testing instruments, and all other parts and equipment that you can essentially think of that might be in a makerspace. our students have regular access to. It's also funded and sponsored by our Engineering Student Society. So it's sort of that main space, although we welcome interaction with professors. It is also a space that is really just for students to explore and build a passion for their studies further. Some of our success stories here as the Faculty of Engineering include Lakehead University's Steel Bridge team. So 5 engineering students from Lakehead University actually traveled to Virginia Tech in Virginia to compete at the ASCE/AISC Student Steel Bridge National Finals in 2022. The competition was actually held over 2 days, which had bridge teams from 34 different North American institutions. They were judged on aesthetics, construction speed, lightness, stiffness, construction economy, structural efficiency, overall performance, and cost estimation. So quite a lot of categories. Lakehead's team actually placed 11th overall and brought back 2 awards, second in lightness and second in cost estimation. However, with that being said, Lakehead actually came first out of all Canadian teams in overall ranking, ahead of even the University of British Columbia, which placed 14th. So again, being a smaller institution does not mean the access to these competitions or our ability to conduct incredible research is shorthanded whatsoever. When we chatted with Damien, one of the students pictured in the middle there, he said that the competition was an amazing way to finish his studies at Lakehead University. So that was always great to hear in terms of just one of the stories. Another story we have is actually from a team of engineering students who placed first in the senior design category at the Canadian Engineering Competition, which is held in Toronto. The Lakehead team designed and built a prototype for a remotely operated fire truck, which could race to a flaming building and accurately launch water bombs at multiple locations. So this team was contrived of students from different disciplines, which allowed them to build this prototype essentially that had uses and foundational principles from a variety of different backgrounds. As we come to a close on today's webinar, I'd be remiss not to chat about the full circle journey. So we've discussed, of course, undergrad studies, unique learning opportunities, grad studies, doctoral studies, and success stories. But you may also be wondering, where can I take my Lakehead degree? Where can I go in terms of careers? I'll note, of course, this is by no means an exhaustive list. If we had an exhaustive list of where our grads have gone and what they've become, we'd be here for another hour just alone talking about that. But this will give you an idea. And really, I want to take the opportunity to reiterate that your engineering degree is going to be the foundation for, or your launch pad to your career, but it doesn't necessarily dictate the type of career you pursue. So whether that's pursuing a career in chemical focused engineering or petroleum, maybe it's automotive or manufacturing, software or electrical, it really speaks to your passions and perhaps even some of the extracurriculars or research that you get involved in that will also help you start to build a better idea of where you want to take your degree. Sharing more about some of our outstanding alumni, we have 2 features to share. The first one is Miriam, who's a graduate from mechanical engineering here at Lakehead and now is from the United Arab Emirates. Right now, her job is currently as a peaceful nuclear engineering program. And she's also, coincidentally, the unofficial member of the UAE women's ice hockey team. So a fun fact, not necessarily something that's unique to Lakehead in terms of we didn't get her on the skates, but it is something that I'm sure being in Canada, she was able to practice quite a bit more intensely. When reflecting on her Lakehead experience, Miriam shared that essentially the friends that she made on the first day that she stepped on campus, she's still in touch with them now, although she's on the other side of the world. And she thinks back to her experience in Thunder Bay as a place that both reinforces social connections and bonds in a way that busy cities and large urban centers can't necessarily do. And she also spoke about the nature and the beauty that surrounds campus, which just made it quite amazing. Sharing one more alumni story before we wrap things up. This is Muhammad from Bangladesh. He's a graduate of our electrical engineering program, and he is also a product engineer at Eaton. When we sat down with Muhammad to share more details, gather more details about his Lakehead experience, he he essentially was extremely proud of being a graduate of Lakehead. He said that when anyone asks where he got his degree, he always is very excited to share that it's from Lakehead. And then reflecting even further, he said, when you graduate from high school and you might have the dream to go to one of the big schools, he said it's easy to get lost there. And so being a smaller institution, Lakehead was able to provide him with quality attention and good attention from his professors. They get to know you by your name. They actually want you to reach your goals, and they know you personally at a different level. But there's also opportunities that you'll have access to in terms of those projects where you can get involved in teamwork and really build on some of those vital skills that will be required in the job market. So those are just two of our outstanding alumni. If you wish to learn more about alumni, you can always visit our website, lakeheadu.ca, and we'll help you navigate, of course, to outstanding alumni that we chat with each and every day that share the Lakehead story and talk about their experience. So with that being said, this does conclude our formal presentation on the Faculty of Engineering. Next, I'll meet you over in the live question and answer period. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, I want to encourage you to comment below or connect with us on social media. We can be found at Lakehead International on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for watching once again, and hopefully we'll see you at the next live webinar. Bye for now.